Malaysia Vision 2020 was first established by Tun Dr. Mahadi bin Muhammad. This vision was introduced during the presentation of 6 Malaysia Plan in 1991. The reason why it is called Vision 2020 is because this vision is to drive Malaysia to become a fully developed nation by the year of 2020. It was reported as the new economic policy of Malaysia. This vision was focuses in achieving industrial nation in terms of life, economic prosperity, social well-being, world-class education, political stability, and psychological balance by the year of 2020. There are 9 challenges that Malaysia needs to address. However, in this video, we are going to discuss only 3 of the challenges.
For the comparison between the visions, between Malaysia Vision 2020 and Japan Vision 2050, so we can tell is almost close to each other, if not the same. So if we came to compare it into the challenges and the challenges, we can see that both of them they care about the population growth. Malaysia Vision 2020 and the Japan Vision 2050, as well as both of them they care about the developing the democratic society. Even though Malaysia has the best education system in the third world, but they still willing to improve more about the education, as well as Japan. They are willing to improve about the education system. So if we came to see among the challenges, they both have the challenges. So that's why we choose to compare between Malaysia Vision 2020 and Japan Vision 2050. It's easier for us.
One of the challenges in Vision 2020 is to fostering and developing a mature democracy in Malaysia. So for a mature democratic society to exist, openness and transparency are one of the key characteristics to be included in governments. This challenge is yet to be overcome due to the government way of governing does not have the proper openness and transparency in it. Due to this way also, the trust of the government keeps on decreasing from time to time, and these are also being used by the other party to gain the people trust by stating new hope and dream to put them as the main governing party, thus making them the new government. Citizen, local authorities, state government and organization body are the stakeholders that involved in the third challenge. Each role plays an important part to overcome the challenge. Citizens need to select the right leader to ensure that the country can be run in democratic way. Local authority need to ensure the maintaining of peace and to prevent any conflict within the community from happening. Then the state government need to practice the concept of openness and transparency to gain the trust from the citizen. Last but not least, organization body need to focus more on issues that related to the community so that the challenge can be overcome. Next, I will be talking about the policy analysis metric for establishing a scientific and progressive society. There are a number of organizations and departments that help in achieving this challenge. MIMOS focus on research and development in microtronic and information technology. This influence in education as it helps the community in build skilled manpower in the field of microtronic and semiconductor. Besides, MSc also take part and focus on ICT as a national agenda. The department influence the development of Malaysia because the impact on industrials and information communication technology revolution that affect government and community. On the other hand, an ITC focus on policies and direction of ICT sector that influence law and act as it formulate the policy and determine the direction of the ICT sector.
Another Vision 2020 challenge is to establish a scientific and progressive society that is very innovative and always 10 steps ahead of others. The society also must not only be the consumer of the technology, but also plays its part in contributing to the development of scientific and technological advancement for the future. Achievements related to the challenge so far. There are a lot of achievements made by Malaysians that has been recognized worldwide. Some of it are the usage of seismic rubber bearings to lessen the strong impact and effects of earthquakes in any buildings. Besides that, Malaysia has produced an excellent astrophysicist, Datuk Mazlan, who is also the leader of the Malaysian National Space Agency. She even established the National Planetarium that provides a great facility to accommodate astronomy and space sciences equipment. Not only that, recently, Nur Adlika Ainul Anwar was one of a group of astronomers who had discovered about the evidence of black holes to show that it is relatively close to the Milky Way. Stakeholders related to the challenge. People is the biggest portion of the stakeholder. They had done their part very well in achieving a lot of accomplishments. Besides people, government are the most important stakeholder that has a high impact and influence to face this challenge smoothly. A lot of programs should be conducted to support the people in striving well and at the same time building scientific and progressive nation. The establishment of Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation MOSTI is also a huge step in ensuring that matters related to science and technology such as nuclear, space science and meteorological can be monitored thoroughly. Apart from that, any organizational bodies such as MOSTI and SIRIM are responsible to monitor the consumers' affairs related to the quality and safety of products. Political economy analysis. In the aspect of political, the focus has been to create a new policy to avoid fraud in research, which is called the Malaysia Code of Responsible Conduct in Research, MCRCR. This has been helping the government to cope with any activities of plagiarism or fraud in all researches. For the aspect of economical, the country has generated its income through export activities, such as the export of seismic rubber bearings that was being used to lessen the impact of earthquake. This also has shown that the society had increased their awareness towards the environmental impact of natural disaster and how they can innovate agriculture products to face the challenge. For societal context, the society has shown concern in the safety of environment and had put South Korea as example to be followed. For technological aspect, the establishment of National Planetarium and Petroscience has raised the awareness towards science and technology. And the enforcement of MCRCR law has shown that Malaysia also concerns with the legal aspect of any research integrity to protect the researchers and their rights.
Next, in facing 9 challenges of Vision 2020, which established a prosperous society with an economy that's fully competitive, dynamic, robust, and resilient, there are several stakeholders that factor along the journey. First, we have people, which have the high impact and high influence in the context. This because the main factor focus of this is in the importance that need by the people is to end the discriminatory practice and be more open-minded to enforce a better living style and routine. Next, we have second stakeholder, which is the Ministry of Women and Family Development, which also have high impact and high influence towards the effort of facing the challenge. The main goal of this ministry is to remove the identifications of race with major economic functions. In order to do so, they could create and organize more practice of mutual aid initiative among society and strengthen the new National Culture Policy (NCP), also create a strong awareness among the society. Third, the third stakeholder is the government itself, which definitely have high and huge impact and influence in order to face the challenge, whether it's successful or fail. The main concern of the government is to remove the identification of race with major economic function. From this, the government decided to enforce a law to avoid and take any actions towards any discrimination and society segregation due to races, ethnic, religions, or other factors that may harm the harmony, unity, and nation economy. Last but not least, the fourth stakeholder is the organization bodies. They also have a huge impact and influence in succeeding this challenge. What they can do is to enforce a better living wage. In this context, their task is to monitor and take some serious action to a lot of initiative by reducing the eradicate poverty by increasing income and job opportunities to all society without any discrimination. Some of the great initiatives is engaging with these stakeholders is being able to provide enough help such as food on table so that no discrimination is subjected to prosperity of gross indoor nourishment. This is because many societies are against the eradication of absolute poverty regardless of race and irrespective of geographical locations.
Political economy analysis on fostering and developing a mature democratic society. In the aspect of political, several efforts can be done to further promote the values of democracy within the government. One of the efforts will be developing an external judiciary to ensure government transparency in governing the nation. This can be seen through the establishment of Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission that oversees investigation on the issues of corruption within the country. In the effort of ensuring a more stable power distribution within the country, decentralization and devolution of power to the state would enable states government to focus on developing certain aspects that has been overlooked by the central government. The establishment of a channels for dialogue between local citizens with the national government will also encourage more transparency in election process, as citizens are more aware of the candidate's vision for the country's future. On to the economy perspective. More policies and strategies should be developed to ensure egalitarian and balanced income distribution within the country. A few policies have been introduced since 1971 to eradicate poverty, such as the New Economic Policy, NEP 1971, National Development Policy in 1991, National Vision Policy in 2001, and the Government Transformation Program. Various improvisation should also be done in developing the required human capital, as public readiness to embrace necessary changes are an important factor towards human resource development in a democratic country. It cannot be denied that the most crucial part of developing a mature democratic society will be the effort made by the citizens in creating a more conducive environment for growth. Such effort can be done through the abolishment of social hierarchies based on race and religion. The abolishment of such concept within the society will create a better environment that discourages discrimination and enforces national unity. The importance of family institution in the country should also be emphasized, as children must be guided right from the beginning regarding ethics and morality, as right attitude and integrity in the early stage could pave the way for becoming a good future citizen. Last but not least, the principle of the rule of law, such as freedom of press and speech, are also an important aspect in fostering a mature democratic society. Freedom of the press makes the exposure of corruption, malpractice, and incompetence possible, while diversity of media opinion offers alternative interpretations of news and events. The protection provided through these laws also encourages an active and outspoken civil society that are willing to participate in the functioning democracy of the nation. Example of law that protect the freedom of speech will be the Article 10(1) of the Constitution of Malaysia, where every citizen has the right of freedom and expression, subject to certain restrictions that are in accordance of the law. Another effort could also be done to protect the democracy of the country would be the creation of a theoretical and practical framework for democracy protection. This framework could act as the guideline to the essential elements of representative democracy, moving beyond basic free and fair elections to include respect for human rights, fundamental freedoms, and the rule of law.
Conclusion. Achieving developed nation status is a very important milestone for Malaysia, and it is culmination of a 30-year journey towards realizing this aspiration. The next challenge post-2020 is to become a truly advanced nation in economic, social, and environmental terms. It is envisaged that Malaysians will have an unshakable national identity and clear moral compass, while all members of society will enjoy an elevated state of well-being. Malaysia will be guided by many inspirational leaders towarding personalities who are molded by a holistic education system and driven by an unstable appetite for knowledge. Malaysia will be governed by trusted and independent executive, legislative, and judicial institutions that protect Malaysians equally. Malaysia will have a government that delivers, led by leaders with integrity and conviction who embrace the concept of trust. Malaysia will punch above its weight in international arena, both as a strong independent nation and through prominent Malaysian thought leaders in various fields.